Welcome, brothers. Welcome program on target. And as usual, as soon as we start the politics trending, but most important, choose your own topic. We express our opinion, particularly on political issues. Opinions are not facts. They are people's opinion. And if we have new information, we change in our opinion. But opinion based upon our own prejudice and the information we have at the time. The number to call is 442-0175. We are on RealFM 91.9 on Facebook and YouTube. We have to apologize for the quality of the internet. It's no fault of ours, and yesterday it was terrible. We encourage you to stay with us. We understand you'll have a quality that you do not need to complain about. But particularly for those who listening to us on the internet, our humblest apology. Yesterday we was asked a question by one of our regular participator program, Cultureman, and we intend to give it some attention to answer it. Cultureman was inquiring, why is it in the month of January so much people complaining that it's broken? They are broken, and it's a hard month. And one of the reasons is that people get paid early. They get paid sometime on the 15th of the month. And because it's a Christmas period, people tend to be more generous. So they would spend money more. Even the individuals who are not working, whatever little money they get from gifts or etc., they would spend it. And in January, things could be tougher. Remember, not everybody that have a discretionary income. Much of people in Grenada are poor people that live from paycheck to paycheck. Even bearing in mind that Grenada have the most land owners in the region, but the land people have is principally, they have their own house spots, residential area, and they do a little subsistent farming. And even sometime in January, that which they produce becomes difficult to sell. So we have a few rich people in Grenada. We have a number of people with discretionary income. They don't have to bother January. They don't even have to go to the bank. They have discretionary income. But culturally, the majority of people are poor people. You have to remember that 30, 40, 50 years ago, agriculture was the biggest source of employment for people. The estates. Today is government. But you have to have a certain measure of qualification to work with government. Reach the age of 60, you have to retire. You have people in Grenada that are getting $125, $130 a month for their pension. $125, $130 a month for the pension. And these people they not qualify for seed program because they may have land and have a house. And as they say, they have television and inside toilet. But the pension they get is $125 a month. You have people under the seed program that was getting $450 a month. And this government reduced it by $150. 60% of the household in Grenada are led by single women. Some of them have 4, 5, 6 children. And they're living in their parents' home. And the parents themselves not in a position to help them, they have to help the parents. So, culture man, maybe you have to visit the Cajuna home for the aged, visit the Richmond Hill home, visit some of the homes in Grenada, and you might have a better appreciation for the stories and the plight of our people. I believe the National Democratic Congress on a whole, every time they come in power, they are very hostile towards low-income group of people. Every time the NDC is in power, you will hear more and more people calling some of the people who we call vulnerable and marginalized, say they squander their money, they drink rum, or they do all they don't have money. Anytime the NDC is in power, you hear this sort of dismissive, disparaging remarks targeting the marginalized people in the country. I've even listened to marginalized people castigating marginalized people. Now, if you're working for 3 years in Grenada, based upon the government-owned statistics, you need help. That is why the government not charging you personal income tax. If you're working for $3,000 or less in Grenada, based upon government-owned statistics, you need help. Yes, you will find an individual culture man that making $3,000, he have no children, he have no wife, you don't have a dog, you don't have a cat, you don't have a cherry tree. You don't giving nobody nothing. He ain't paying penny halfpenny to see a aunt's wine. So he may have money. But think about the people who have children, who making $3,000 a month, who working in St. George's, who have 4 or 5 children, and they may have elderly parents in the house that they have to take care of. And then you're going to have an appreciation for the plight of some people. And I think that is the biggest challenge that members of the National Democratic Congress have. That's the biggest challenge. They, the social media warriors, the politicos, the czars of the NDC, the attitude to people who are marginalized is unacceptable. They need to change it, because I don't think it is politically expedient. It is not beneficial to the National Congress. That is why only 2 political parties in Grenada have ever won election more than once. Only 2 political parties continuously. Is the Gary and Kit Mitchell and NNP. And the reason, because these 2 political parties are more sensitive towards the needs of the ordinary man. Every time the National Democratic Congress win election is because they created a law, an attractive package to offer the ordinary man to come over and support them. Even when NDC mother, when NDC, they sold unitary state and they informed Grenadians, if we join up with Trinidad, we're going to get the same pay as people in Trinidad. Every time they win election, they prepare a package in the lab and they sell it to the ordinary man. And then the ordinary man support them. And as soon as they win election, they immediately disassociate themselves from the ordinary Grenadian. That is why I am convinced that the NDC is the most hostile political party against ordinary people. I have never heard a political party in the Caribbean deduct money from the elderly, the physically challenged, and the marginalized, except the National Democratic Congress. Culture man, this is my answer to your question. One would hope and pray for the sake of humanity, for the sake of people's own decency, for the sake of development, that members of the National Democratic Congress, particularly the executive, change their attitude. This is why I'm so concerned that 70% of the children who exit secondary school, or who exit school, not secondary, who exit school, cannot meet the minimum requirements in Grenada. And the National Democratic Congress doesn't care. They don't care about that. In the same way, they are hostile for people in the lower income group. They are hostile also to people in the lower intellectual group, because they believe they are the brightest thing in Grenada since sliced bread. You cannot develop a country if the students, the people, the children, the young people who exit school are not competitive on the job market. The regional statistics would tell you that 60% of the people looking for job don't have the skill sets nor the qualification for the job. So although we have high unemployment, we have jobs in the Caribbean that our people cannot fill. Now, what is the National Democratic Congress policy on unemployment or employment? They're extremely quiet on that. And you just have to see that. You don't have to believe me when I speak, I don't want you to readily believe me, because there are a lot of people on radio that twisting the truth. They're sexing up the truth. They're outright telling lies. So I want you to do a little research. When you do research, it's not to do a thesis or to do a publication. It's to satisfy and for you to have the courage of your own conviction. Logics, basic logic. If the majority of children that exit school are finding it difficult to get a job, they find it difficult to enter universities, they find it difficult to enter college because they don't have the minimum qualification. You have a situation in Grenada, 30, 40 years, doing exams they should do in school when they're 16 years old. Something have to be wrong. I am not hearing the mouth of the Minister of Education. It means that the Minister of Education is a joke. And I have very little faith in this present Minister of Education. I've given him over 6 months. I think it's the first time I'm referring to him. I do not have any belief that he could change anything. They are very happy now that the status quo remains the same way, because 70% of the children that exit school is not competitive on the job market. They are not doing well. They cannot meet the basic requirement. And the government and the Ministry of Education is comfortable with that. They're very comfortable with it. And for you to have a Minister of Education, you have to have a Minister of Education that prepared to shake up education and make them more productive. Ask the Prime Minister, ask the Minister of Education, ask any one of the ministers what they will do to increase the productivity level in the schools. They don't have no plan. For the last 6 months, I've been waiting on them. They have no plan. And you're going to see the education system, the productivity level in the education system in Grenada continue to deteriorate. They like that. So they could get a chance to form up like turkey cock and leave people that the few that succeeding in school that they more than the others. So they could call you needy and greedy. Say you is eat a food people. You know? And it's wrong. Now if you ask this question, what happened to all the people who get island scholar in Grenada? Every year we provide full scholarship for the most outstanding persons in the examination. They may go and get a doctorate, or turn a lawyer, or study till they reach 4, 5, 6 years. Government might spend $200,000 to $500,000 on them, depending on what discipline that they're in. Sometimes you never hear about them again. Is that not a handout? Over $500,000 spent on one person, and you never hear about them again unless they come back in Grenada as a counselor looking for a while. How much money do we spend to train a medical doctor? We send them in Russia, Timbuktu, India, Cuba, United States of America, England, Canada. Government spent thousands and thousands of dollars to train these people. Some of them never come back. But you never hear anybody saying they get a handout. But people who work in Grenada all their life, and government give them $450. You hear people who get free scholarship. They get free education. They cast in all sort of aspersion on them and say they get a handout. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, how are you? Good
Great,
day.
man.
So, listening to you, those people that you're referring to with government sponsor them from taxpayers' money. Is those people with the government all now or not?
Some of them come back here and work. Some never come back.
So I'm referring to those who never come back.
Well,
That would be outstanding that all now.
well, sometimes government never make bond with them. They never sign a legal contract. We don't have a policy on that. So they just go. They never come back.
Well, I don't find that was good enough. If you have to spend taxpayers' money, that is like, excuse me, you must have some agreement. I mean, this is taxpayers' money.
Sometimes
You
there
don't
is
think
no
so?
agreement. And even when there is an agreement, the agreement is not enforced.
Well,
But you never
it's
hear
hard.
people say they get handout.
But there's that come under the flag of handout.
Yeah, but you never hear people say they get handout. But the person who getting $450, they have all the children working in Grenada still. They say it's handout they get.
I hope all those behaviors they take into consideration and handle better and properly than that. Thank you.
Yes, I think people have to understand that. There are a number of people in Grenada who get free education. 90% or more, and I'm being extremely conservative, of people who work with government got free education. Government send them and get free education. They get scholarship to do the BA. They get scholarship to do diploma courses. They get scholarship to do MA. Some of them get scholarship to do PhD, postgraduate. All their life they go in and train. Some of them travel to 50, 60 countries. They never pay a cent for traveling, except this when they come back and to eat extra food. Nobody ever say they get a handout. But the person who work on the estate all their life, who have children in Grenada, who reach the age They were not qualified under NIS. Some of them paid Provident Fund, but they couldn't get the record to join up with NIS, so they don't get no money. Government give them $450 in the advanced age. And Grenadians say they get handout. They don't need it, take it from them. And I'm responding to culture, man. Because this is the attitude of the members of the National Democratic Congress. The union leader in the House of Parliament been asking government to guarantee housing for those that send away and study. After you send a man away and study, the guy get a master's degree. He come back home, sometimes he give him trouble to go to work. He don't want to work where you send him. He say, I was a teacher and I do a master's degree in agriculture, so I'm supposed to go in agriculture. I was a teacher and I go and study medicine, so I'm not going back in the schoolhouse. I have to go and study medicine now. I have to go and practice medicine now. Even if at the time the government don't have a vacancy for him or they didn't budget for him. So they say wait for the next budget cycle. But nobody in the country say these people get handout. But attacking the low income group. In 2008, government gave a tax break to taxpayers. Now, if you're paying tax in Grenada, you're paying personal income tax. It means that you're making over $3,000. It means that is the measurement government use to determine who is vulnerable and who not vulnerable. The government says if you're making $3,000 a month, you on the borderline of being a vulnerable person. You're catching your backside to meet your meals, your bills. So if you're making $3,000 or over, government say you could start to pay tax. So anybody in Grenada, it doesn't matter. A lot of the workers who are working in the big companies in St. George's, they don't making $3,000. Some of them working 25 years with the company. They're living in Ticolo. They're spending over $500 to pay transport to go to St. George's. They have to prepare for lunch. They have to buy shoes and clothes because particularly if it's a woman, you have to look good. Some men now, they kind of domesticated and they want to look better than a woman. And they don't making $3,000 a month. So they're not paying any tax. They're vulnerable too. Although they join up with the National Democratic Congress and calling people eater food people and hand to mouth. Once you're not making $3,000 a month in Grenada, you are marginalized. You are vulnerable. You hand to mouth. You're not likely to have much discretionary income. So why is it the NDC is so hostile towards these people? Now remember, when I say you're hostile towards these people, if you challenge me, that is why I'm saying no, In 2008, remember what you do in 2008? You created a law. You told the people who was involved in the Imani program that you will give them $1,000. I think they was getting $700. You say, no, we will get $1,000. And you did it 2 weeks before the election. You told the elderly people, the same people that you deduct $150 from now. You told them in 2008, you're going to give them $450. The National Democratic Congress used an elderly man to come on the radio and television and media to advertise it. You won the election. You never give the man the money. The man dead out of grief and out of heckling from NNPS. You never give the Imani the $1,000. You fire them. Well, what's wrong with you? You stayed away from government for 2 terms and you prepare another package of lies. You say everybody go get permanent. There is no need to have a parallel public service. You will make everybody permanent. And everybody follow you again. You said you could give the elderly people $650. The Prime Minister said that. He quoted the World Health Organization. He chastised the previous government for trying to keep the people poor, for using them. And as soon as you come in power, you fire the women of Karikou, you fire the women of Pulse, you fire the road wardens, and you fire the caregivers. People who taking care of elderly people, you fire them. You say all of them is yellow. Then you fire 30 people from Grand Bazaar Estate. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, NDC is a good salesman for selling a lot of unrealistic goods. Goods that the definitely is unable to happen, but the good are selling it. And I do believe it is time for Ghanaians to know what could happen and what cannot happen. The time for Ghanaians to understand the system that we're working in. So when good salesmen that speak enticing words and speak good, come and tell that they go do the fire. You time for Ghanaians to know that this cannot happen. Alright? So that's my piece to say, man. Okay.
Color, yes, thank you, Color. Color, there is a bigger picture in Grenada, If we continue on that trajectory, we're heading for the road of Haiti. You see, 70% of the children that leave school are not competitive on the job market. And the government is hostile towards low-income people. But the most dangerous things of all, you have low-income people that join up with the government and attacking their own people. So they want them go and pick up stone in the river and sell it. You'll get money. What is that? Why is it you going after the elderly people? Some of them blind. In 2008, funding from private was removed from the program. One of them, 14 children. I think only one child went to secondary school. She left after and going to the States. One of them was blind. 3 of them did not have inside toilet. The National Democratic Congress got rid of them because they claimed then that a lot of the children, grandchildren, was NNP. And I'm giving them this case if they want to investigate it. Because Paraclet is not known to be an area that is really low income. Imagine other areas what they did. People shed tears in a line. Why is it a political party? I don't know. I think Caribbean leaders have to ask Dick Mitchell, why is it the NDC is so hostile to people in the low income group? And they could quote 2008, 1990, and 2022. But if they want to find out about NDC murder, then go back to 1962. Why we have Grenadians like that? Derek Walcott wrote about it. We have some people in Grenada here that always believe them is some turkey cock just because they have a little qualification or they have more certificate more than you. If you're a minister of government, you pledge to help the unfortunate, the marginalized. These are the people you have to help. Obviously, Once you have a good taxation system that is not overburdening, and you have a good justice system and freedom of the press, bright people go make it. You don't have to help them again. Companies going to make it. You don't have to have special attention to companies. The people you have to help is the marginalized people. There are some people in Grenada, if their daughter get pregnant in school, when she has 15 years, they send them in Barbados and make the child. They send them in Jamaica, go in school, and they bring back them in Grenada as if them is a virgin. If you have money, you could do that. But if you don't have money, and your daughter get pregnant in 15, the whole community washing them out on you. So these are the people government have to reach out and help. Why is it Grenadian tolerating a group of individuals that seems to be so hostile against low-income group? And the saddest part, the line minister of social affairs is a child of labor, is poor people child, poor people children. She come from the ancestors of Lady Joss. How come when individuals go in university and get education, they turn in on the people so? I tell you, me and Tilaita talk about that all the time. Tilaita have one child she have that go in university, you know. One child. She had 10. One that go in university. She living in town. You think she's studying Tilaita? She don't study Tilaita. She said Tilaita don't keep she hair good. So she want to make her do she hair to go and see she grandchildren. And because I talk on radio, you know, and she no, she come up. So why is that happening? If you go to the activities, like when you have Paul's day of when they cooking food, they salaka, telescope salaka, La Poetry salaka, River Sally salaka. You don't see the intelligence here there, you know. Unless they're in politics, they walk around and model, foaming up like turkey cock for people to see them. They're not involved in developing the community. You don't have to believe me when I speak. Go in the groups, in the community if you have, and see if you see them. You don't come in. The lawyer believe if you participate, you go on free attention. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Mr. Pierre,
brother.
this government bringing the biggest investment in this country today. No other government never do it. The biggest.
What investment?
I'm not talking about that.
What investment?
I'm talking about,
What investment?
the Grenada Redoban in Sotos of the.
This government bringing investment?
Who bring in?
I don't know. I just asked you. I didn't know.
Well, you wouldn't hear that because you're so biased. You wouldn't hear that, Mr. Pierre.
Caller,
Mr.
anything I say here you think is not the truth? You could point out something that I say on the radio that is not the truth?
Let me ask you something.
Caller,
The
could you
NMP
point
was-
out something that I say on the radio that is not the truth?
You say a lot of things like lies.
Point
Listen
out
me.
something.
Mr. Pierre,
Point
Mr. Pierre,
out something.
The NMP was in government for 9 years in this country. The last 9 years. They had no opposition, nothing. They could do what they want. Nobody to tell them nothing. And today, they're the most poverty who ever come in Grenada for the past 9 years. Never in the history of Grenada, he had poverty in, in this country. So the NMP investing, that is a backbone, they encouraging poverty. They
Caller, you agree?
They encouraging poverty.
Caller, you agree to?
Because-
Caller, you agree to take out the $150 from the people?
Well, listen, Mr. Pierre.
Caller,
for
do you
9
agree
years,
with that?
The government never give them 1 cent. Election coming.
Caller,
give them out of
caller,
shares.
caller,
For
do you
9 years
agree?
now,
Do
9
you?
years, the NFP never give them 1 cent. So as the election coming out, they will put on 150. And they still lose the election.
Do you
Yeah,
agree
but
it should be
it's-
removed?
They should get the $300. Take it out.
Caller. Do
Take
you
it out.
agree
Let it go
to?
for money. Listen to me, Mr. Pierre. The only people should get the $150 is the blind and the disabled. All of us should get the $200.
Caller.
Mr. Pierre.
Caller.
Mr. Pierre.
Caller.
NS people.
Caller.
Yeah, NS people working for 40 years now, and you know what they're getting? Somebody getting $280, $200.
And you think that is good?
They don't do nothing more than drink rum and gamble their money. And now they come in and want taxpayers to mine them. Tell them people keep their back like quiet now.
All right, thank you.
The only person that.
And that is the challenge we have in Grenada. This scholar is a true reflection of the National Democratic Congress. The National Democratic Congress give tax break 600 million. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar.
Now, Eurostock and say things to the people, and they doesn't want to hear what you're saying because you stand for the truth. You just talk about the cocoa. I get to see what you say with my eyes right now. Mr. Pierre, I got around 40 acres of land. I can't get people to pick cocoa. They don't want to go to nothing with cocoa. Because what? They want $60 and $70 for the day. How much money you get for a pound of cocoa?
160.
Well, come on now. So you see, when you're telling the cocoa board to adjust themselves and make this thing work, they don't take this thing for a joke, but that thing is serious. Grenadians don't go back and pick your cocoa for you easy no more.
They get fed up. I think they get fed up.
Oh, God, I like what you say. They fed up again,
They get fed up.
My God.
Yeah.
That is serious thing. Yeah. Start to get them people to listen to you and put their money on the cocoa. Now just double the price and forget it. Just double it one time, same time.
The Cocoa Association never seek the interest of cocoa farmers.
Respect.
Never.
Proper talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyhow,
yeah.
We put up chocolate factory around the country like crazy, and when you go, I could go to feed it, eh?
Yeah.
So have a nice day, sir.
Yes, caller. As
continue
the caller
educating the population.
Yes, caller. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Hey,
Yes,
good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, that caller before this one last day, as you rightly said, you hear the venom and the anger in the voice.
Yeah,
you hear them.
But that's the NDC.
Go and find work. No, but here, go and find work. Go and thing and you hear the ranting. But there's somebody on the radio who is working no way, who depending on people, just send money for them, enjoy a lavish life. What are they saying about that?
But you see,
9 years, they say, 9 years, they say all kind of wrong thing with that, all kind of shit up until this maybe all everything. But no, they can't see that. But guess what? Let me tell you what going on. That is people that you will see in town, they will ask you for your credit dollars. You know why? There's a thing called pride and shame. They can only hide behind a telephone and a keyboard and play, people know them. But you just know them, you just see them. And I just see them on a daily basis. Let me tell you something. I, as an NDP supporter and an NDP member, have no problem with NDC winning by how much votes. Because Greta said they want to change, they get that change. They put in a new prime minister. But when you interfere with social, let me tell you something. I tell people, even sit down and analyze politics around the world, not in the Caribbean alone, around the world, and you look closely, just take a model of what right now with the student loan, the student debt loan. Biden is trying to ease up the student debt loans. Imagine there are billionaires who is funding the Republicans to fight against a billionaire for easing up loans in it, easing up people from getting educational loans in it. The same how they say, taxpayers' money. So why should I pay for you to go to school? My God, people have a heart. If somebody had to go to school and I can help them go to school, I feel proud to help somebody go to school. Likewise, in Grenada, if somebody cannot make it and they on a program, a social program, and I can sponsor money, I will do it. We're supposed to have love and kindness, but this party coming without no love, without no kindness, without no friendship, and it's that, and they're the ruling. And you can see it. They beat them against their own self, Mr. Pierre. Just give them time. Just give them time. Look at the demeanor of the Prime Minister to the time that he came to politics and the time now. You can see it on his face. He's not into this thing. Look at his body motion. He's not into this. And whoever is pushing him, whatever factions and whatever is happening to the party right now, because there are a lot of things that we're hearing as allegations, right? And if those allegations prove, because apparently they're very good at keeping allegations. But before a certain minister was a minister and he was a businessman, his name was called in all kind of things. And now those goose come out to roost and his name is calling again. But they do know all kind of things. They're breaking to keep it quiet. But one day come with it. We go find out. Mr. P, you have a good day.
Yes, Caller, people have to understand the National Democratic Congress. The National Democratic Congress always get rid of the moderates. So over the years, they either fire them. Yes, Caller, welcome.
Every time I hear, good afternoon, Mr.
Yes, welcome.
You know me already.
Yes, but we have to be tolerant. Yeah, that's key.
Anytime I hear people talking and they don't educate me, I don't have to call the radio.
But you know why it's so important? Because a lot of people do not understand the NDC. And some of the main individuals, when they speak, then you understand the National Democratic
Mr. Pierre, this man was tapped there before that too. This man doesn't read, he don't watch news, he don't listen from no education thing at all. This man going on the block on the rum shop, and you know people does not educate nobody in the rum shop. Anything they hear, they say. People don't listening, people don't reading. A lady call this man and she said, look, she don't get she pay here. One call and say, send there before money come. Money come in she pocket, but money don't come in the other lady pocket. So the lady go call the red and lion people. Yeah, some people are saying on the 15th they get paid for the pension. Well, how is so we dropping it?
We have to have a lot of tolerance. And I think with tolerating and listening to everybody, people will understand. Because you see, on our program, you notice they're not able to challenge the statements that I make. And that is a good sign.
Not what you say, Leno. If somebody talk and they educating you, because they're not talking for you alone, they're talking for everybody. So you understanding and you're educating yourself. But if the kind of people and they were talking why they don't go and walk, why they have to sit down and you, Mr. Pierre, not so Dr. Keith Mitchell say you would have give pension, you know. You know a lot of people work on the estate. He has a lot of people who walk all around the island.
But some of them, but in all fairness, some of them don't have the experience that we have. Because we grew up on the estate with a big family and one person bringing in an income. And when January come, it's a little fowl we have to kill to make. It's a good thing we are yard fowl.
Dr. Mitchell is who work in the public service alone, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody would have get a little side tail, a little bite in the little thing.
But in fact, the National Democratic Congress always hostile towards low-income group. And maybe it's part of the nature. No, you have to have tolerance. Yeah, but we must have tolerance. We have to.
Because they don't educate you.
Yes, but you still have to listen.
They say, nobody.
Yeah.
You can see how that man talking.
Yeah.
No way to get nothing in the wrong shop he lives in and hear what he's saying.
No, I think he may be well off, so you don't need anybody. Yeah.
Later.
All right, thank you. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I know you give everybody an opportunity to express themselves, but sometimes you have to correct them and educate them. The gentleman that called regarding the project in Livera, I think you were obligated to inform him that it was the NNP administration that got this project when they were in office. And the NDC at that time protested against the project, referring to about impact on the environment. He needs to be educated when things like that come up in your program, don't let them go without enlightening them.
But caller, you notice when I call on him, he don't want to listen. he knows the facts. When you call in on him, he continues speaking. He don't want to stop to take correction. So we have to gradually tie the truth on him. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, well, you need to tie this one on him.
Yeah,
that it was not the NDC.
No,
they
no,
opposed it.
They opposed the program
in the beginning.
They opposed the project vehemently. Yeah, that's a challenge. The national, yeah, the national.
Sorry, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. The National Democratic Congress have spent a long time in opposition. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, I think I understand the strategy of this prime minister. If you look at what he's doing, he's destroying this country. And I think his agenda is that after he destroyed the country and the people vote him out, the same state assets that he intends now to pass into private hands, these people will turn around and hire him or his former company or whatever it is to represent them. So he's laying a foundation for himself that after the destruction of this country, he have work because there will be payback time, there will be gratitude for the assets passed outside there for big business. I think that is the agenda because he don't care one thing about any Grenadian except himself. Thank you.
Yes, caller, and I asked the question, who sent him? And I asked whose agenda is he seeking? Because he's definitely hostile towards people in the low-income group, the elderly, the marginalized, and disadvantaged children. He snubbed the financial institution and lost over $70 million in grant. He doesn't seem to have any natural inclination towards socialism, although he was glad to be in the spotlight with Cuba and Daniel Ortega. He evoked Maurice Bishop's spirit, but his sole marketing board, but he's ready and prepared to dispose of marketing board. A lot of issues are happening. From the time the Prime Minister come into power, he has been shocking the economy in a very negative way. In a small country like ours, with a small economy, remember, we're part of the third world. And we even in the third world, where you have the CARICOM, you have the more developed countries like Barbados, Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Belize, and Trinidad. And you have the less developed. Now, Grenada was doing very well in the less developed countries. But now, the Prime Minister has been shocking the economy. Everything that he does so far is contributing to the deterioration of the economy. The words of the Attorney General keep ringing in my mind. She says, if we continue on that trajectory, words to the effect, we're going to cause serious damage, irreparable damage to the economy. And caller, you're right. Grenada may have to go to the International Monetary Fund on our knees. The Prime Minister was very dismissive of the International Monetary Fund. And everything that he does doesn't seem to be in the interest of the economy of Grenada. Grenada have high unemployment. High unemployment is one of the biggest challenges in the Caribbean and other countries. But the government have fired more than 1,000 people since they come to office in 6 months. The government action has diluted the confidence between the banks, the credit union, the financial institution, and people who do not have a permanent job and also self-employed people. In yesteryear, if you was working in the banks or the credit union or a supermarket for 5, 6, 7 years, and that supermarket have a good track record in the bank will safely give you a loan if, although you didn't have a permanent job with government. A lot of people in the private sector was able to get loan from the bank. A lot of farmers was able to get loan from the bank because the bank recognized, although they do not have a permanent job, nobody ain't firing them. Today, the government fire people that working 19 years with government, 17 years, 4 years, 5 years, and they have unraveled the confidence that existed between the financial institution and the people in this economic strata. Look at the government is changing the contractual agreement between workers working on a monthly basis and government. The government did it unilaterally. And it was so sudden that they have not provided time for adjustment. That again is not in the interest of the economy in the short term and medium term. In the long term, everybody will settle down and it doesn't matter. Maybe somebody might want to pay you by the day. But at this point in time, it is not in the interest of the economy in the short term. The economy is already on the downturn. The government raised the tax. And even that have a level of new administrative challenges for small businesses. So this is a challenge we have. But in a democracy, you could always find these things. Particularly when people is not knowledgeable about the kind of individuals that we come in government with. The government decided that information would be a need to know this. And now that we are asking them, give us some explanation on the allegation, the speculation, the rumors surrounding $2 million with the GDP. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, I'm watching something on the live, right? That people need to understand. There is a difference between campaign fund and government funds. A government can be in power and they can get campaign funds for the party. I see somebody asking you a question about why NP was paying pop all kind of millions. Who in Grenada paying any artist $1 million? Come on, all this are misinformed. The NDC years ago bring Barry Salmon. They bring people. Come on, people.
Croco. They brought down Croco.
They bring Croco. Yeah. I mean, the level of venom and stupidity. This guy on that will always be on a lively. Let me educate you. Go and ask the sister party in Jamaica who they sponsor for NNP in Grenada. NDC have a sister party also. Come on, people. Come on. Stop your all nonsense now, man. All this sickening. And stop hiding behind a fake profile.
Yes, you see, caller, one of the things you have to understand, most of these fake profiles, as he says he's challenging me, I normally go back and respond to him and answer questions, but he don't. And he could always pick up the telephone and call. So he's one of the fake profiles, those people who are the political czars for the National Democratic Congress. You just ignore them. They can't handle the truth. The truth will burn them. For instance, now, Deacon must face the truth. You could postpone the truth, but we will continue to bring it forward because you must tell us, yes, caller, welcome. And caller, you have to punch. Caller, you have to punch now. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Pierre, I listen to you here, and I find it difficult to understand what government is actually. The NFP government is one of the worst government of Grenada. Listen, them fellas and them, they destroy the marketing board. over $15 million losing the Maclean board after 9 years. They could have spent 9 years and they destroyed the Maclean board. They find the money. Up to now, the integrity rate.
Caller.
Millions of dollars.
Caller.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you think the government should give us some answers on this 2 million involved in GDP now?
What money involved in GDP?
Caller. Do you believe government should give us some answers? That's the challenge that we have. Now the truth is going to stay in your face, caller, and the truth could burn you. You see, Mr. Exeter say, the boy shake out the truth on him. Mr. Nyko say, tie it back. Don't let him leave here without the truth, tie it back. So we're going to tie back the truth on Deacon. And someday a little child is going to ask Deacon that. And when he goes to Tobago, or St. Lucia, or Jamaica, they're going to ask him for explanation about this $2 million. And the doctors of journalism are going to look small. Because you cannot, if you get promotion from Deacon, and Deacon get that information is a need to know, and you have an allegation circling the country that a member of the political party and the cabinet receive a loan of 2 million. It could be a legitimate issue. It may be unethical but not illegal. The government could have justifiable explanation for it. So the government must give you. They must give you explanation. You could postpone it, but you must give us. Because we're going to continue to ask you that. And someday, a little child going to ask you, Deacon, what's about the $2 million in GDP? Please tell me. What you do? You go hide? That's why I say to people that Deacon Mitchell is a fake. You know, after I've been studying him for 6 months and seeing the level of inconsistencies, the ease with which he double back, I realize we buy a cat in a bag. The cat ain't holding rat. He terrorizing and harassing old people, and he eating the children food. Now, if you give $2 million or 2.7 or 2.3 million to one individual who happened to be a member of your top nuclei, then all we asking, give us explanation. You must have had some justification or reason for your action. What the Prime Minister is doing, you're really embarrassing your politicos. For instance, sorry from my partner Onisto. He really embarrassed with these things and he don't know what to do, so he just playing around, fishing around with questions. But the government, political activists, and the social media warriors, they're hiding. They can't answer questions. And they more resort to personal attacks. We back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another opportunity to punch and to see if we could get our Prime Minister, Deacon Mitchell, to answer questions. Thank you very much.